Awesome. So today is a special day, isn't it, Carol?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely special.
Yeah. For Kenya, and for many, I think, African countries,
Mm,
the day of getting your independence is a
yeah.
key day.
Mm,
But today we'd like to talk about this Madaraka Day on a personal level. How can we bring
mm.
it to personal level, Carol? As I type the title here, just take it on.
Independence. I think I love the analogy of the independence of the country or any republic and
Yeah,
individual independence because it's never easy. It's never given on a silver platter because it
yeah.
means a transition of power from a dominating power to you now ruling yourself
Mm,
and charting your
mm,
own course.
yeah,
So, on an individual level, when we come onto this planet, there is a force that colonizes us, and many times we call it society. So, we are programmed and conditioned and, you know, told that this is who you are, this is how you're supposed to live, and this is who you're supposed to be, and this is your future, and all of those until your Madaraka day when you decide I'm gonna determine that for myself.
yeah.
So there's a kungangana, there's a war that happens for you to take over
Mm,
and to
mm.
get your independence. Yeah, that's how I see it.
And I think this is our biggest battle in life is to really self-govern, is to
Mm,
get to a place where you are totally in control of your destiny. You're the captain of your life. And unless we get to that place, of
mm,
course, we don't mature, we don't grow to take over our lives, and we remain
yeah,
victims of circumstances. We remain, sometimes I hear
yeah,
people talk about, I wish things were like this. And the story in the
mm,
Bible of the children of Israel walking from Pharaoh's captivity to freedom to the promised land, and then in between wishing they were back in Egypt eating melons, cucumbers or cucumbers, and
pumpkin.
and leeks.
Yeah,
And sometimes
yeah,
freedom is costly. Freedom is self-determining and takes a mindset. There's a mindset of
mm,
freedom that freedom is never, I think it's Nelson Mandela who said it's never just given to you. You have to take it,
yeah,
you have to take it
mm,
yourself. And so for me,
yeah,
it's a mindset. It's a mindset of
mm,
determining, and telling yourself from this moment on. And the reason we remember this day is because it's really, it marks a beginning of power, a beginning of self-governance. And so when you take it
mm,
now personally, there's
yeah,
nothing I consider as important as finding that power to govern yourself. And that one
mm,
makes a parent proud when they see their child grow into a teenage, into an adult, into a young adult, someone that can govern themselves. I work with parents, and when I see, after coaching their kids and they see they can govern themselves, they sense of freedom and joy to just see a human being stand on their 2 feet and not require that, have you done this, did you make your bed, did you you're governing yourself. It's such
mm,
a joy from a parent perspective. But
yeah,
when you bring it also to your personal perspective, on a personal front, it takes real strong mindset to draw your territory and say, from this day on, I am in control of my destiny. From this day on, I am in charge of my life. I take back my life. And do you think that's a conversation that can help someone, if we go that way, to leading them to adopting a mindset that takes back their life to a place of reclaiming your life? What do you
Mm,
think? Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it takes a lot of courage because, as you're saying, self-governance is really self-determination. It's not just the independence of I can do what I want. It goes beyond that. It is, can you see where you're going, and are you willing to take whatever it takes to get
Yeah.
yourself there,
Hmm.
including not standing in your own way,
Hmm.
shifting your mindset to embody a mindset that will get you to where you're going. Because again, you've given a very good example of parents and kids.
Hmm.
One of the things that I've noticed, me being a parent, especially a parent of a teenager, is to continually tell myself that my child's independence and self-governance, self-determination includes sometimes shedding some beliefs that I have put in him.
Yes.
Sometimes it means making his own decisions that sometimes will not be what I would have decided for myself.
Mm,
So,
mm.
and that's why you see, and I know because we have worked together, you have seen parents coming in and wishing this for their children. And when the children embody that level of independence, they're like, amekuwa kichwa ngumu,
Yeah.
because for them
We
it
did
was,
what they are
I
running out
want you
of
to do what
control.
I want. And that's what
Yeah.
independence means.
Yes. Yes.
And I think it's
Yes.
it's about going beyond that as an individual and saying, being very, very intentional with your thoughts, because your thoughts are actually the guide towards your determination, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
actually decolonizing your mind and getting yourself to put on a new mind. I think the good book talks about renewal of the mind to a
Yes.
mind that is actually congruent with what your purpose is, and your divine assignment is.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. And
Yeah.
we cannot wait for someone else to do that for us.
It's not possible. It's like I tell you to go to the gym, me, I want abs. And then I ask you, where are my abs? When you've not been
Yeah.
going to the gym.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
need to do it
Wow.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it takes really a decision. And I like that word, decision, because decision means cut off every other option. There is no plan
Yeah.
B. This is who I am,
Mm,
and this is how my life will be. And
mm,
looking at African countries, let me not talk about any specific countries. When we talk about
yeah.
self-governance, I feel
Mm,
like it's like the African mindset. We were not even ready for this thing. Like just making that decision, because it's like
yeah.
you're free, but like that parent who is too careful to let their kid walk around and make their own decision of freedom.
Mm,
It's like you're
mm.
free, but you're not free.
It's
And
because
so,
the determinant of your freedom is the one who colonizes you. When that happens, when your
yeah,
colonizer decides how much freedom you can get, then you're not free. If you're
yes,
having a
you're still a
discussion with the
slave.
colonizer on how
Yeah,
freedom should look like for you, then you're not free at all. And that's what
yeah.
we are seeing in on
Mm,
an African level, because there were so many conditions that were put in place for us to be given our freedom,
yeah.
so that and those who sat at the table had things to gain, and so
Mm,
that's what
mm,
they've been
mm.
meeting their end of the bargain. And so we really, as an African continent, have not been free, and I think this is the time we need to decide to be free by our own terms.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Mm.
exactly, exactly. And that means believing in ourselves as as Africans. And if there is something that COVID-19 has taught us, is that we can have our own solutions, and there are challenges that you cannot look elsewhere but within yourself, within your
Mm.
territory.
Yeah.
And we are being told that, if you look within, you will find some resources that can help you. And
Mm.
so for me, for anyone that is listening, but I think is on a personal level, for Africa to rise, Africans must rise. It's
The
our
African
individual
must
mindset,
rise.
yeah. Because Africa is made by Africans. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much about our education system, our leadership, that, and
Mm.
blaming one another instead of really raising the game within and becoming that leader
Yeah.
that you want to be. I think that
Mm.
self-governance and self-leadership
Yeah.
is what is going to help this continent, and is what is
Yeah.
going to help Kenya.
Mm.
We need to see more uh, strong-minded Kenyans rising to leadership, rising to positions of influence, and speaking our voices. What do you think, Caro? Maybe you're, you may be the next governor. We can vote for you. Hmm? But
I
governance
think
starts with self-governance.
it starts with me governing
Let me tell
myself, and I
you, Martin
feel
Luther King. Martin Luther King
yeah,
said that we are, the wrong governance is propelled by good people who don't step up the game and take
yeah,
up leadership. And leadership is
exactly.
about also self-governance. What do you
Mm,
think? Well,
yeah, it
yeah,
is. It's
yeah,
about the system needs an overhaul because it has not been serving us. But we are not familiar with even this system that is not serving us because we've been so detached and so disengaged
yeah,
because we just want to blame the government, to blame politicians, and we really don't know the intricacies of what's ailing the system. Because if we did, we would know exactly where to go and touch and heal. And I think on
yeah.
a personal level, it's the same thing. You must
Mm,
really know what mindset has brought you to where you are. What is it
mm,
that has given me the results that I'm having so that I know what to shift? Because if I don't know what has brought me here, I don't know what to shift. And a lot of
mm,
us are very externally oriented. So we are looking outside for the economy, for the parents, for our spouses, for our children, and we are thinking those are the determinants of our lives, but we are
yeah,
the ones that are determining our lives by the mindset we hold. And I believe that the minute you decide that this is where you're going and you embody that completely and know that you're self-determinant, then what you will do is like what other countries do. You acknowledge the sovereignty of others and their own
yeah.
self-determination, and you
Mm-hmm,
let them
mm-hmm.
be. So then now you focus on your sense of intuitive alignment. It's like you tune your system to know your direction because it's like we have a GPS, internal
Yeah,
GPS that
yeah.
guides us to where we are going. So if you tune into that, you're able to know, does this align to me? Does it not align to me? Instead of focusing
Mm,
time to change people, you will align yourself to those who are going to serve you in your journey. And the rest, you just leave them to determine their lives as they wish because it's their right,
so
it's their
yeah.
birthright.
Yeah, so getting to that place of the self-governance mindset also gives people around you freedom to be who they are and to govern themselves.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
as
but then
long as,
again, we
yeah,
have this
mhm,
picture, this picture we are trying to paint, and we are trying to fit in people like puzzles in our picture, and you end up forcing people into spaces that they are not fitting, and then
yeah,
you get frustrated and they get frustrated because you're trying to be in control of, just surrender. I think the
mm,
greatest tool and the greatest asset of self determination is to surrender to the force within because it's
mm,
not your
mm.
mind that's going to do this. It's the divine force that's driving your mind that will
Yeah,
do this. Yeah.
yeah. Wow, wow, awesome. I love that. I love that. What do you think is happening in the US? There's so much. Does this
Yeah.
relate to that? There's so much chaos going on there with our brothers down and in the US. I even saw
Yeah.
them sing Hakia yeah to Hakia to. What do you
Yeah.
think is happening really in the
We
US?
are in solidarity. The US is like a pressure cooker.
Mm,
And they have had this elephant in the room, actually pink elephant in the room that they've all been trying to avoid and behave as if it's not there.
yeah,
And they have a lot of suppressed anger, a lot of suppressed shame, and systemized racism is something that began way back, and that has been ingrained in all their systems, education, even religion, governance.
yeah,
And
yeah.
now something just touched the trigger. It's like somebody just pressed the red nuclear button and
Mm,
everything
mm,
is
mm,
just erupting. But then
mm.
there's also forces that are trying to even suppress that. So let's not show our anger. Let's not, let's stay peaceful. Let's do this. And I think that's what's happening. Everybody has just had enough. And I
Yeah,
think Corona is a very good catalyst because even in our lives, people have had enough.
yeah.
Enough of
Enough of Corona. Enough.
being locked down, enough of, I mean, literally, the whole world is saying, I can't breathe because,
Enough. Yeah, yeah.
you know,
I can't
we are
breathe.
all in masks. We are
Yeah.
all in masks. We can't go to work. We can't go to school. We can't socialize. It's like we are just, all our shadows and everything that we've refused to deal with is coming to the surface. And there's
Mm,
no running from
mm.
this. We have to face it. So, what I've been sharing with people in my circles is don't look away from the anger, don't look away from the rage. Just
Yes.
get within yourself. What does it
Stay in the
trigger from
moment.
within yourself? Exactly, because it's for
Yeah,
you. It's really for
yeah,
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Wow. And both COVID and all these things that we are hearing, it's almost like it's putting everyone on the same level.
Mm.
There's no rich and poor, there's no this and that. It's all of
Yeah.
us. And I think we are being called to the baseline of who we are as humanity. And it's not
Mm.
about your money, it's not about this, it's about who you are. Who are you? How can you
Yeah.
answer that question? And I think we are being pushed to that realization of who
Mm.
we are, and that's a sense of freedom that we are talking about here, that gives us that mindset of self-governance. You know that you're
Yeah.
not defined, because if you're still defined by money, you're not self-governing. If you're
Mm.
defined by any labels that is outside yourself, I don't think that's something that can be taken away from you.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I believe self-governance as that sense of this is who I am, and this is what I
Mm.
take pride in, and it should be
Yeah.
something that cannot be taken away from me. Because if it's
Mm.
something that can be taken away from me, then I still am not free.
Yeah.
I am not
Definitely.
free. I still look at you and think one day you wake up with the wrong emotion
You're coming for me.
and you'll come and snatch this thing from me. So I'm still not free.
Yeah.
And so, what is that true freedom? I feel is something that cannot be taken away from you. And this is what we miss when we
Mm.
run around getting things. And this is what the US is also learning. We have accumulated all this stuff that has defined who we are, but these are
Mm.
things that can be gone in a week, in a minute. We have
Yeah.
learned that from the economy. If you
Mm.
hang on your life on things that perish, on things that, and that's what defines you, that's where your security and certainty is, that's where, that's who you are, then I
Mm.
don't think that's really self-governance. My
Yeah.
heart really longs for things that cannot be taken away, for things of solid grounding. And
Mm.
that's why personally, my journey has been about, finding that power within that cannot be taken away by anyone, that inner connection, that self-awareness,
Mm.
as a child of God. And when
Yeah.
we come together, that's why I love the activism of Martin Luther King. This guy was a minister. So he'd
Mm.
say, he says all people are created equal. We are all equal. We are children of God, black, white, yellow, pink,
Green.
both wealthy, thin, and big. All of us are children of God. And when we
Yeah.
feel comfortable in that awareness as children of God, we are going to heal the world. But as long as
Mm.
people are going to be blind to the truth, because this is what is happening in the world, we cannot close our eyes anymore. How do you close your eyes when you can't breathe? You know,
Mm.
and it's not just for the US. It's going to be the story of the world, where
Yeah.
the leadership and everyone really self leadership. You have to step up the game.
Mm.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
illusion is coming down. The illusion of, and that's what I see in the US. The US is said to be a land where is that is free for all. That is,
yeah,
anyone can come from anywhere and make it and feel community and feel, like they are part of the great nation. But I feel that illusion is coming down because first
yeah.
it's built on the backs of slaves and the Native Americans who were kicked out and looted. And then the people still have been living separately and seeing people as not equals, but pretending as if it's a great nation. So that illusion is coming down. And I feel like the illusions in our lives are also coming down. The
Yeah.
places we've been acting and pretending, and it's all coming down because
Yeah.
for you, I feel self governance is the morning of your realization of your true
Mhm,
self.
mhm, mhm,
It's the
mhm.
experience that happens after you
Yeah,
realize who you are.
yeah.
That's when self governance begins. And
Mm,
I like what you
mm.
were saying. It's based on something that cannot be taken. And I'm like, that's an oxymoron because if it's a thing, it can be taken. So it's whatever cannot be taken is not a thing. It's
Yeah,
it's an
yes.
experience, it's a
It's
knowing,
an
it's a truth,
experience.
you
Yeah,
know?
it's a truth.
So exactly. So
So it's
standing
an
in that truth,
awareness. It's an
yeah,
awareness. It's an
exactly.
awareness
It's
of
an
who we are as people.
yeah, yeah.
And it should not differentiate us. I believe even the conversation here locally here in Kenya, if we may come back here. Thank you, Mary, for joining us. The conversation here that we need to have as brothers and sisters, to come to a point of trusting each other, allowing uh, each other's talent, living as brothers and sisters. Really, it's not just a US conversation, it's also a conversation here. The
Mm,
tribalism, these things will not serve us as a nation anymore.
mm,
And even politically, imagine politicians who've been using this card. I mean, you have to go deeper and show us your leadership bigger than just using your clan card. And
mm.
but for this to happen on a personal level, we really must raise the standard,
Yeah.
and raise the standard of our conversation. It cannot be conversation of our people, or I behave like this because I come from this tribe, because I am like this. Raise the
Mm,
standard. Let's raise the game on a personal level. Begin to
yeah.
see yourself as a child of God.
Mm,
Dress down or unclothe yourself with the attire of tribe.
mm.
You are
Yeah.
my sister, you're my brother. This is who we are. So when we live that truth, when you're talking about truth, and that's why I like that conversation about truth. The truth is all of us, no matter where we come from, bottom line is we are brothers and sisters. and we are
Mm.
children of God. Can we see each other that way? That is the conversation. And then you take that conversation to work, to working with each other. Can we work with each other, as brothers and sisters without looking at where do you come from? What is your
Mm.
tribe? And that sense of maturity is what brings, to me, what brings true freedom.
And I feel the fight and really going to the fight for freedom that brings freedom, that brings independence, self-governance, self-determination, is the fight
Yeah.
of, first of all, seeing and experiencing the effects of the colonization. So you
Yes.
must see to what extent that this has hurt you. The US is just facing that right now.
Yeah.
They cannot hide from that. George Floyd lying on that tarmac was them facing what they have been running away from. We Kenyans, we individuals, you need to face exactly what it is that has you have created. You have to face the monsters that you have created over time with certain
And take
thoughts,
responsibility.
and then you can say, not anymore. I'm done
Yeah.
with this,
Yeah.
and deal with whatever needs to be dealt with, and then begin creating a reality that serves you and is for the good of everyone. And
So
that's
as
the
we
fight.
celebrate, so as we celebrate this birthday, Madaraka Day,
Yeah.
which, sometimes a birthday can come and go,
Mm,
and you're not a new person. Whoever is
mm,
listening to us, I mean, what's that new thing? What's that awareness that you're going to bring to this new person that you want to become in this new dispensation? What is that? What is that newness? That when you say, okay, this is a new, and one of what Carol is saying, just allowing that truth, allowing yourself to stand on the truth, and to make the truth your friends with truth. Have a
mm,
relationship with truth, and truth means you're not afraid to see your weakness and your strength. I don't think what will help Africa is to block our eyes to our problems, or even to surrender our problems to the West. No, that's a realization that by now we should have learned as Africans. What will
mm,
help us is to know what are our challenges and how can we sort them out here. We have great talent that is being used actually in the West. I saw some of the nurses that are saving lives in the US are actually Kenyans. They're actually Kenyans and the African nurses.
mm,
So what does that tell you? We don't believe in ourselves. So we have to come from a personal level of believing in ourselves. And then on a national level, really believe in our own people, and promote that as Kenyans and as Africans. And so I know we are
yeah.
coming to the end of our session. What's your parting shot, Carol? Thank you so much for this show. What's your parting shot about this self-governance mindset? You can have a parting shot and then bring this to an end.
My parting shot is that the most important realization is that you are autonomous and you're self-governing being, a self-determining being. It's in your DNA to chart your way forward. It's in your DNA to accomplish your divine purpose. The question is, what are you going to do about that? For how long are you
Mhm.
going to let others or society or systems to govern your divine purpose? For how long? You need to begin to come to the reality of, has this been your life, or has this been some other person's or some other people's life? And when you decide
Wow.
that, then that's the beginning of your independence.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you so much. I think for me, my parting shot is look within yourself. believe in yourself. If we are going to rise as Africans, as Kenyans, as the world, we must rise from a personal level. And so, on a personal level, begin to show that self leadership, self governance, where you're looking at, because if you cannot govern your own habits, the small things, your own goals and dreams, things that you say you're going to do, there's no way you can look at that responsibility outside of yourself and expect, to bring any impact in the world. And so change begins with us. So look within and ask yourself, what can I change that will bring me closer to self-governance? Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Please kindly share this with someone that you know can benefit from this self-governance mindset. Stay true. Happy Madaraka Day to you.
Happy
Thank,
Madaraka Day, everybody.
yeah, yeah, and bye bye. Bye.
Bye.